I don't know about you guys, but to me, a breakfast sandwich is like the peak of breakfast foods. It is probably, arguably, the best sandwich form ever concocted. So today, we're going to do things a little differently. Welcome back, everybody, to a pretty special episode of My Last Brain Cell. Today, we're going to try out a bunch of different breakfast sandwiches to try to figure out which is the best. I'm going to do my best to make sure all these sandwiches are relatively fresh, so that way I'm eating them basically right out the microwave. And we'll get started. So the way we'll rank them is we will talk about the ease of a frozen breakfast sandwich, right? Because I feel like the point of a frozen breakfast sandwich is the convenience. You get everything you need right then and there, but is it easy to make? Then we talk about how well it cooked. I am not going to be changing any directions. I'm going to be following the exact directions as printed on the box or the label, and I'm going to let you guys know what the directions said and how I cooked it. With that said, I will give a caveat on some things that I would have done differently to maybe make it a little bit better. But for today's challenge, we will make sure we stick to the instructions. The last criteria that we're basing it on is obviously going to be taste. Does it taste good? Is this something that I would constantly want to eat? Would I want to put this sandwich in my mouth on any given morning? Let's get started. Okay, the first sandwich we're gonna make is by Jimmy Dean. It is the turkey sausage, egg white, and cheese on an English muffin. The instructions say to prepare it, you remove it from the wrapper and you wrap the sandwich in a paper towel. You are then supposed to microwave it on defrost for 90 seconds, then flip the sandwich over and microwave it for 65 seconds or until fully heated. So currently it's still finishing up, so I will let you guys know how it went during that first 65 seconds and if I found that it is cooked thoroughly enough or if it's hot enough, and if it's not, I'll throw it back in for maybe another like 10-15 seconds. All right, the first sandwich is done. I did have to put it back in for an additional 10 to 15 seconds. I think I did 15 because the very center of both the sausage patty and the egg white itself were still cold, still had some frozen chill to them. So I did make sure to get it fully heated up there. I'm gonna split this sandwich in half. It's still really hot. You might even be able to see some steam coming off of it when I split this bad boy in half. Yup, I see it billowing. Yup, you see it billowing. That's crazy. So this is the interior. So once again, all it is English muffin, sausage, egg white, and cheese. This thing is piping hot. I'm almost definitely going to burn my mouth, but here we go. Personally, to me, this is about as good as a basic breakfast sandwich can be. The sausage is perfectly salty. It has some really good flavor to it. The egg white, it's egg white. The cheese does add another layer and level of salt and flavor as well. And the English muffin is perfectly fine. I don't think I would do anything to change this up per se. I mean, maybe if you want like a crispier sausage patty, take that off, throw it in maybe the air fryer, let it crisp up a bit. But other than that, man, this is a pretty good breakfast sandwich. If I had to rank it, let's figure out the ranking system. Should we grade them or should we do just like on a scale of 1 to 10? I think we stick it with a scale of 1 to 10. For me, like I said, this is a very basic sandwich, but it still gets the job done. It does what it needs to do. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. With this next one, we are going to get a smidgen fancier because this next one is by Jimmy Dean again, but it is the grilled chicken ciabatta sandwich. So this one has, and I'm reading this straight from the website, it features a grilled chicken breast patty, a peppered egg patty, and sharp cheddar on a rustic ciabatta roll. And one thing I will say that I was surprised by is that the egg looked like a real cracked egg. That was impressive. So to cook this one, it says to remove the wrapper, separate the meat and egg from the sandwich, wrap them together in paper towel. I need to stress that I only took off the meat and the egg. I left the cheese with the bread. So you microwave the meat and egg on high for 65 to 70 seconds. I opted for 70. I am then supposed to reassemble the sandwich with the bun, wrap the entire sandwich in paper towel, and microwave on high for an additional 50 to 55 seconds until hot. And I assume they meant to say or until hot. But for this one, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm keeping straight to this. I'll only add an additional 10, 15 seconds if I have to. But my goal, or I would hope that like with the double cook for the meat and the egg, that should be fully cooked. Right? Right? Okay, I will admit, this one did not need any additional cook time for it, which is great. I will also note that, it said it had a peppered egg. When I was reassembling the sandwich, I did see some bits of pepper on the cheese, on the ciabatta itself. So, you know what? That might not have been such an exaggerative claim like I initially thought it was going to be. Once again, this thing is basically fresh out the microwave, so you can see the smoke billow. Let's get that interior. Once again, you've got egg, chicken. The inside of that chicken doesn't look super appetizing. A little bit of cheese and this rustic ciabatta. It does look like, when I squeeze it, I don't know if you guys can see it too, does look a little juicy. That could just be because it was frozen, and that's just the liquid remaining from being frozen. But let's get into it. Let's see how it tastes. So scratch what I previously said. I bit into it and I could immediately tell the center of this chicken was still a little cold. So you might once again want to keep this in there for an additional 10 seconds. But as far as the flavor goes, man, it's not bad. The chicken does have some really good flavor. The egg is doing its job. It's an egg. The cheese is fine, but the pepper definitely helps because it gives a nice little punch in the throat that I think it would need. Let's see how this chicken itself tastes. Let's get the outer piece of this chicken. I mean, chicken's fine. Honestly, it tastes a little sweet too by itself, but I think overall this is a good sandwich. For convenience, this one is, I think it takes just slightly less time than the first sandwich did, the basic sandwich, but this one does take it up a level with the flavors and being chicken with the pepper. I'm gonna give this one an 8.2. Yeah, this is a solid sandwich for sure. I'm realizing I forgot to mention, for that last sandwich, I don't think I would do anything different. Again, I think it's just a grilled chicken can only get but so crispy. So if you wanted just a little bit extra char to your chicken, throw it in the air fryer. Maybe throw a nice chipotle like mayo or like a chipotle something on there. Give a little bit of extra of a spicy kick. I think that would elevate that sandwich to another level. Anyway, let's break the Jimmy Dean streak here, and we are going to jump into Kodiak's maple pancake bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Me personally, I prefer bacon over sausage. For all of these, none of the sandwiches I have any pork sausage. They're all turkey. Me and pork sausages, we just don't get along. I don't know why, but I do love me some pork bacon. I love bacon of any caliber, quality, whatever. But anyway, for this one, it is it has uncured bacon, egg, melted Colby Jack cheese, and it has maple flavored pancakes. Now, this one does also, I think, exceed the other sandwiches because it does have a lot more protein in it. That's just a personal preference. To cook it, remove sandwich from the wrapper, wrap it in a dry paper towel, microwave on high for 40 to 50 seconds, flip the wrap sandwich and microwave it for an additional 40 to 50 seconds. Now, one thing they do add here, and it was something I was going to mention as well, I don't remember if it said it on the box itself though, it says crispy bacon optional. After microwaving, place the open-faced sandwich in a toaster oven for about 3 minutes to crisp the bacon. That was going to be the only recommendation I would make too. I've had this sandwich before. I've obviously never had it in succession of so many other sandwiches and ranking it. I just know I liked it. I like bacon. I like pancakes. It was the perfect choice. But the one thing that I noted myself the first time I had this sandwich was it needs some crispier bacon. So I'm glad to see that at least online that option is there. But let's bring the sandwich out, shall we? And this one was piping hot when it came out the microwave. Now, full disclosure, I did not do the optional 3 minutes in the air fryer or toaster oven, because on a regular day to day, what if I only got 3 minutes? This one is so far the one that takes the least amount of time to cook. So that's also going to play in its favor for sure. But there's the egg, the pancake, and the bacon. This one obviously appears flatter than the others because the others had round sausage patties. This just has some strips of bacon. But I will say, of all of them, I think this one had its cheese melt the best. Let's see what that flavor says. It's fucking piping hot. One of the biggest differences, I think, from this sandwich compared to the others is that this one has a maple pancake like bread, right? So it helps it have just a bit of a sweeter taste compared to the previous two. I will say though, I think the lack of crispy bacon on here is a bit trifling, which is why I feel like an 8.9 is fully deserved. Going back to sausage, but going carbless this time, we have Trader Joe's Eggwich breadless breakfast sandwich. Turkey sausage and American cheese nestled between two egg patties. Shout out to my lady for this one, because last year, Aldi's had these amazing Eggwich sandwiches, which were incredible, but now they're gone. Can't find them. She found these at Trader Joe's, so I'm so grateful. To cook these, microwave cook times may vary depending on oven wattage. Remove wrapper. Wrap in a damp paper towel and place on a microwave safe plate. Now, this is the first one to say damp paper towel. Cook for 50 seconds. Flip Eggwich and cook for 50 seconds or until internal temperature reaches 165. Now, I think that's interesting. I would have assumed, now for this one I'm reading straight off the box, I would have assumed that this thing is already fully cooked and just needed to be reheated, but nothing on here suggests that. So I do hope that it's fully cooked. Let's go find out, because I'm not gonna temp it. Now this one does have the same cook time as our previous one, the Kodiak one. So that's also going to work to its advantage. I also think this one has an advantage because it's breadless, right? So like for those of you who are wanting to skip carbs, this one's all protein, baby. Protein and fats. Again, that egg looks real basic. The sausage also looks basic. The cheese is nice and melted though. So let's see how it tastes. Two things. One, this reminds me of the very first breakfast sandwich. A very basic sandwich. Two, I miss Aldi's version. Aldi's version just had, it seems, a little bit more flavor. This one I think would benefit from a bit more sweet. So if you could put like a little bit of maple syrup in your sandwich, I think it would help this one immensely. I'm going to give this one a 6.5. I would put it underneath the other one. But the only reason I didn't give it a 6 is because it is protein packed. So again, for those of you who don't want the excess carbs, it's a carbless sandwich, baby. But yeah, I feel a 6.5 is appropriate. Okay, moving on to the next breakfast sandwich, we have Jimmy Dean once again, the spicy honey chicken biscuit sandwich. Now this one has a breaded spicy white meat chicken patty nestled inside of a sweet, flaky, honey flavored biscuit. So obviously this one is way different from the previous one we've had because although it's chicken, this one is a breaded chicken as opposed to the other one which was grilled. This one also has no egg. It's just chicken and biscuit. And the biscuit should be spicy. The biscuit, I mean, should be sweet. The chicken should be spicy. So I'm really hoping for the ultimate bite here. Full disclosure for this one as well, I have had this one before. Now, I typically make this in the air fryer. The air fryer way says remove the wrapper, separate the chicken from the biscuit, place the chicken in the air fryer at 330 for 10 minutes, add the biscuit to the air fryer during the last 1 to 2 minutes to warm it up, or wrap the biscuit in a paper towel and microwave on high for 20 seconds, and then you reassemble the sandwich. Now, for the purpose of this video though, I did not do that. And I didn't do it for two reasons. One, I felt it would give it an unfair advantage, which is the same reason why I didn't pre-crisp my bacon for the Kodiak cakes. I knew that any change, any differentiation in my methods that could make something advantageous would be unfair. And two, once again, everything else is going in the microwave, so this one should also be judged for how it cooks in the microwave. So this one, the microwave, remove the plastic wrapper, wrap the sandwich in paper towel, defrost for 90 seconds, turn the sandwich over, and then microwave for 40 to 45 seconds, or until hot. You know, they gotta put that caveat, and let stand for 1 minute before eating. I have not been really letting them stand, if I'm being honest. I'm hearing the microwave beep, I go grab it, and we get right down to business. But like I have been saying, I will see if it only needs the additional 45 seconds after the initial 90 for the defrost. So let's find out. Okay, for this one, let's do some pros and cons. Pro, it does seem to have fully cooked in the time that it's stated, and I did not need to add any additional time. Con, it looks and feels very uninspired compared to how I'm accustomed to eating it. Like the chicken on here has no body. It's super rubbery. Again, I usually throw it in the air fryer, so it crisps up nice, and it holds its form well. The biscuit the same. It's not crispy like I'm accustomed to. It's a little flimsy. It feels doughy. But it did, again, I got to give it props for cooking in the time it said it was going to cook. But let's see what the flavor comes down to. You know, let's see how the taste is. Ugh, I'm so upset because I thought this one would rank higher, but I now realize that I was only considering it in its advantageous form. I pictured it as perfect cell, but this is very much imperfect cell because it has no bite, it has no crunch, it has like all the flavor is there. I get the sweet from the biscuit, I get the spice from the chicken, sure. But if you are going to eat this, if you make this one, air fry it. Follow the air fryer instructions. Honestly, their timing wasn't bad. It took a total of a little under 2 minutes, or a little over 2 minutes, pardon me. But I can't in good conscience rank it higher than the other sandwiches. Because although it's not basic, the lack of egg isn't necessarily unwelcome. The chicken, again, the flavor from the chicken and the biscuit is good, but putting it in the microwave, not ideal. I gotta give it a 3 out of 10. To make this better, air fry it, like I said. And last but certainly not least, we have, once again, another Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwich, and it is the Breakfast Burger Brioche. This one features a flame broiled beef patty, peppered egg, and sharp cheddar cheese on a soft brioche bun. This one, remove the wrapper, separate meat and egg, from the bun, wrap meat and egg in paper towel, microwave meat and egg on high for 70 seconds, reassemble the sandwich, wrap in paper towel, microwave for another 55 seconds, or until hot. It does say, at least online, that this method will keep the brioche bun from getting chewy. So I really hope that's true, because this one, compared to the other ones, it seems like a thick boy, but it could be that brioche bun. So let's see, though, if this brioche bun gives it the advantage. Hey, I won't lie to y'all. Not only did it seem to take the exact time it said it needed, but of all the sandwiches we made today, this one by far smells the best. I do that just so y'all can see the steam. So I know I'm not BSing y'all. So again, this one, like the chicken one, has a peppered egg and cheese, but unlike the chicken one, this one's on a soft ciabatta bun, and it has a burger. I think it being a burger helps, which is why it smells so amazing in my kitchen. And I want to take back my words. It definitely is like the chicken, a little cold still in the middle. So an additional 10 seconds probably wouldn't hurt. But let's see what happens. That is literally a breakfast burger. I mean, they weren't lying. If you went to like a Denny's or something and imagine that breakfast sandwich they have, the hangover sandwich, that's what this is, minus the bacon. You throw some bacon on this bad boy, it would probably be a 10 in my mind. But for me personally, this is a 9.5. It definitely is the best sandwich that I've had today. But I know I'm missing a bunch of sandwiches. I also don't think I realized that Jimmy Dean is apparently the champion of breakfast sandwiches. So if you guys feel I've missed any breakfast sandwiches, whether it's from Jimmy Dean's or other people, put in the comments for me. And I would love to try them out at another date. But until then, thanks for tuning in and stopping by. This is King Echo, signing off.